Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me today. We're going to be making a bracelet and I did a pair of earrings using these gorgeous Czech flowers with one of the cube beads, the Miyuki cube beads that were blue, which this does have a blue tinge to it. However though, I'm really digging this these are tanzanite bicones, and I'm really liking these two colors together, which I'm sure that was done on purpose, right? But aren't those just absolutely beautiful together? So what I'm wanting to do is I want to make either a bracelet or a necklace. And what I want to do is we're going to use some of the chain. This is gorgeous chain. I love this chain. It's absolutely beautiful. And then we're going to use some of the head pins. I thought that I was going to go ahead and use this button, but I'm going to use this button in another project. And actually it might be one of the projects that's done for the June. I'm going to have some June bonus videos where I'm going to be taking all of the boxes from January through June and going to be just putting all the leftovers in a pile and making some jewelry with all the leftovers and combining boxes. June will mark the 6th month that I have been getting the box. This is the Treasure Edition Best Bead Box from Potomac Beads. It is a monthly subscription. And it's $39.99 per month. You get tons of goodies. It's just all packed. I'm going to put a link in the description for not just the unboxing for this Mother May I, the May 2023 box, but I'm going to include all of the other unboxings so that you just have one, so that you could just click on every single one of those videos and see what all of the other boxes have. I did pull a real thick 8mm jump ring. This is an open jump ring so that I can attach it to the chain, and then a smaller jump ring for the lobster clasp from my stash. I first thought that maybe I would go ahead and make a bracelet using this, but I also want to make a necklace. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to make a necklace. And what I want to do is I want to do this. Maybe go down a little bit and then add another link. Go down a little bit, add another link. And what I want to do is just hit and miss, add some of these into the links, so that some of them will just be like this, and then some will be like this, or you know what, maybe I'll just do all of them like that. And so I thought I would use the head pins, but now I'm going to go ahead and just use some wire. So I'm going to go ahead and get wire and get some pieces cut up. I am going to link directly onto the chain, and so, or wire wrap directly onto the chain. So let me go and do that, because I'm going to do wrap loops. Maybe I'll do wrap loops. Maybe I'll go ahead and do wrap loops. And so let me get some of that made up and I will come right back. Okay, so I have half of the necklace and this is how it's turning out. Isn't that pretty? And what I did was I did 12 links in between each one. And what I want to do down here at the bottom is I want to, I'm actually going to be using one of the head pins. And what I want to do is I want to add a dangle in the middle. And we're actually also going to bring in a couple of these oval jump rings. And I'm going to tell you why we're going to be bringing in a couple of these jump rings, because I like to jump double jump ring on some pieces, just because it just adds a little bit more texture. I'm going to go ahead and grab another one of these large 8mm, and we're going to do some connecting down here at the bottom And I just love these colors together. And with that silver, it's just so pretty. I hope it's coming out. Then what I like to do, well, this is from the chain, but I like to work from the spool. And I have a large spool of this wire, and so I just unraveled a couple of wraps around the large spool and then just started working straight from the spool basically. And this is all of the scraps I have so far with those 3 wire wraps. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and make my component, and I thought that I would use both of the flowers, and here's why. Because if I only use 1 flower, I'm only going to have 1 flower left. And so I kind of feel like I want to use both. And what I guess I could do is do no, we'll just go ahead and put it on 1. I thought maybe we could do like a, like 2, but, and I mean 2 dangles, but we won't. We will just go ahead and do the 1. And we're just gonna do a little bit of a dangle like that, just to add a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and come in, and we're using one of the head pins from the box. And I'm gonna come in, and I'm gonna come in just a little bit off of the tippy tip, just because these are really good thicker jump rings or head pins. I'm gonna give it that 90-degree angle bend. I'm gonna come in, and I do want a little bit larger of a loop because we're gonna try and get 2 jump rings through. I'm gonna go ahead and form that over the top, hold on to that, and then push it to the back so that we have this here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab my pliers here and then try to get around. Let's see if we can get around 3 times with this. Once, twice, oh yeah, we have plenty of room to get around 3 times. It's just gonna be all of it. So I'm just gonna come in and just guide it around by opening and closing up my bent chain nose pliers. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it now. So this is the back. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue to do that just around to where I get that all the way to the back. And it looks a little wonky here, so let's just go ahead and put our chain nose pliers in there. Let's go ahead and give it a little bit of a bend. And it looks like I do also need to just tuck that in a little bit more. And I'm okay with the beads moving around. Typically I'm not, but for this I feel like I'm okay with that. And once I got that all nice and tightened in there, it actually does not move around that much. So this is what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead, and we have that ready to go when we're ready to combine to the end. But let's go ahead and start up here at the top, and let's do some of the wire wrapping together. So what I did was the top of the flower is what's at the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and add, and I'm adding onto my long piece here. I'm adding the beads first, and I'm gonna go ahead and have flower tip on top. Okay, then go ahead and add my bicone. I love these bicones. They actually match my fingernails. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in and straighten it out a little bit, but I don't wanna heat it up too much because I don't want it to break. And I'm gonna come in just a little hair over an inch down, give it the 90-degree angle bend, and I don't want a large loop. So I'm just gonna come in a little bit off of the tip and then get that pushed to the back and get that a little centered. And now we have our loop. Now what I wanna do is I want to just open up that loop just a little bit so that I can go ahead and thread on my chain on the very last link. Now what I want to do is I'm going to come in with my real fine tip pliers here, close up that loop. Now put the tippy tip of my pliers over that loop. I'm going to come in with my bent chain nose pliers just because it's just easier for me to use the bent pliers. And also too, probably because this is how I was taught, and I really have not, gone away from how I originally learned how to do wrap loops. And I'm going to come in and just trim that off. And again, I just have a very, very small little pile. And you can either come in and tuck in your tail now, or you can wait until after you do the other side. So I'll just go ahead and come in now. And now what I want to do is I want to do the same thing on this other side. And I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers, and I do not mind that the beads move around. So having this a little bit loose is okay with me. Also too, I do not want to break those bicones. And so I do not want a tight fit. Okay, so now we have our loop. Let's go ahead and add this in here. And I'm sure I'm totally off camera with all this because of my big piece of wire, but it will get smaller. So now I just went ahead and threaded that on. I'm going to come in with the real fine nose pliers here. And I think these are crimping pliers, but I don't think I've ever used them for crimping. I might have early on when I was trying to see if I liked them. Okay, so this one's probably not going to move around that much. I got that in there probably a little bit more snug than what I was wanting. And so now, as you can see, I only had one piece of scrap by doing it this way. So if you care about saving your wire, consider working from the spool. It's easy when you have a large spool because then you can pull off a bunch of wire. So now let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and do the next one. And so I'm going to go ahead and thread on, which I guess is not really threading on, but I guess it kind of is. Go ahead and put on this one here with the tip on the top. And let's go ahead and give that a little bit of a bend. Again, it doesn't have to be that far down. And then come in with your round nose pliers. We're coming in close to the tip, and we're going to go ahead and rotate our wrist after we get that over the top barrel, and then just push to get that a little bit more centered. We're going to open up this little loop a little bit, just so that we can make sure we get our chain through. You can use your fingernails too. When I use my fingernails, I end up completely messing up the loop. So I'm not really good at opening it up with my fingernails. Let's lock that in place. Come in with our bent chain nose pliers. This is a really fun project. I thought about this after I had done my last Potomac project with the earrings and the bracelet. The bracelet was a little bit of an afterthought as well. And this is what I came up with. All right, so now we got that all tucked in. Let's go ahead and come in, and we want it to go in the same direction. So I want the back to be the back on both sides. Let's come in, and I'm gonna go a little bit more away from the very tip, just because I felt like I had it maybe just a little too snug the last time. And when you're wrapping, you got to know that you're always going to have something to attach to, except for the very last one down in here, like this one here. We are going to attach something, but we are going to attach the jump ring. So we're going to use one of the large jump rings so that we can get our component, our little pendant that we made, get that on there. I love these colors together. These are awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. And I mentioned that this is part of a subscription box, and it is Potomac Beads, and it's formally it's formerly Best Bead Box regular. I think this one was a regular one. And then there was a Best Bead Box XL. So this one's the regular. And I believe the XL is what the kit edition has become. And the kit edition, I don't talk about the kit edition a lot because that's not what I use. I use this one here, which is the Best Bead Box Treasure Edition. The kit edition has 2 to 3 premium kits that are only available to you through the subscription. You're not going to find them on the website. And so that is also an incredible deal. I do need to check out one of the kit edition videos as well. And let's go ahead and form that over. Get that rotated and pulled off to the side. And we have our loop. I'm going to rewatch this and realize that I was off camera 1,000 times and that I didn't really probably do a very good job explaining what I was doing. But again, this was an afterthought after I was done with the other 2 projects. And I had something completely different in mind, but you know, you get to Memorial Day, your creative juices are flowing, and you might be watching a little bit more TV. I've been watching a little bit more TV today, and so you'll see people on your TV shows that have different jewelry on, and you're like, oh, I can make that. And that's exactly sort of what I was doing. And I actually am not making exactly what I thought I was going to make, but it's okay. I do like what this has turned into. And again, I'm going to come in a little bit off the tippy tip just because I don't want to break my bead. I'm going to come in again just off the tip there, rotate, push to the back, and get that all nice. Oops. And get that all nice. And whoa, that is really bad. That's what happens. I've been handling it way too much, this wire. And I knew that that was going to happen. I'm glad that happened on camera. Did that ever happen to anybody else? That is the pitfalls of, now I have a little bit of waste. Let's try that again. Let's go ahead and get that trimmed off. And yes, I'm going to keep that in the video just because I've had it happen sometimes with head pins when I have been, when I squeeze onto the head pin, the wire a little too tightly, and I will break it off. And I felt it breaking off. That's why when I was wrapping, I was trying to let go in between a little bit so I wasn't completely warming up the wire. Kind of like when you're using like a 24 gauge and you're trying to, and you are wire wrapping around a component, and sometimes as you pull and pull and pull, all of a sudden it just snaps. That's happened to me. Has it happened to anybody else? It happened to me. I feel like anything that's wrong I've done, I wouldn't say I'm self-taught, but I feel like I go rogue a little bit, or I think I know what I saw, especially when doing your own designs. When you're doing kits, you just follow them. You just follow the instructions, just like with the kit edition from Potomac Beads. And also too, check out their site. They have so many other things. So many good sales. Be sure to plug in your cell phone number to get texted, emailed, everything when there are fun things happening. All right, so now, oh, did I miss a, oh, I need another link of chain. Oh, wait, I have it. It's right there. Okay. I thought I miscounted, and you know, I am still seeing that poking out. So let me go in there and get it tucked in. There we are. Okay, nope, I still see it poking out. And when I'm doing this, typically, I am, now I really messed it up. I'm typically looking through a magnifying glass too. I have a magnifying glass that sits up on top of my little light ring. I still feel like that is a little messed up. And I have a piece. That's why it wasn't. Okay, so let's bring that down a little bit, and then let's get that tucked in. Okay, I just don't want it to be, see how it's looking? Ugh. All right, this is what we're gonna do. Since we're at the very end, let's go ahead and just pull these off, because I am going to struggle with this. And yes, I'm gonna keep this, there we go. Then I'm gonna bring in my faithful pliers here. Okay, all right. So we need the flower tip pointing down. Sorry for my little struggles, but it happens. It happens. And so I had enough. So my 2 wraps around my large spool of wire, I have exactly what I needed. Okay, let's go ahead and come in. Let's get that wrapped, push to the back, and get that all nice and in. And then, oh, and then we need to attach. We always need to be attaching chain. See, now I'm all thrown off. I get thrown off. And we need to open this up a little bit. This is what happens when you work at midnight on a holiday weekend. But you know what? When you need to make something and you need to get something recorded, you just do it. You just do it. That's what I'm gonna do. Well, I'm doing it. I'm recording. And it's really late at night, early morning. I think I did this earlier too, last week. I think I did that last week too, where I was recording super late. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we have our pieces. Okay, so let's move out all of our scraps. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to do this and have this here. I hope this is all showing. All right, so let's go ahead and get these oval jump rings are incredible. Me just telling you that they're incredible does not even do them all the way justice. They are amazing. Look how neat they close up. Let's go ahead and get that opened up. The slit is in the center. So then if you're going to be using this directly on wire, or if you're going to be using like a knotting, any sort of like a knotting thread or something, then that actually would be really good, because then the tension's on the ends. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that opened up. Let's get this threaded in there. I didn't even, okay, yeah, it does work. Okay, then let's get these on there. Let's make sure they both go on there. And let's make sure that the opening is, both of them are facing the back. I guess it probably doesn't matter, because you can always spin them around. Okay, so there we go. All right, let's go ahead and get this on there. Oops, okay, and then we'll get the other end on this side, maybe. There we go. And let's go ahead and close this up and let's see what it looks like. I have no idea what it's gonna look like. I guess I didn't need to open it up that much. Okay, and then these are like locking jump rings, they lock. Oh, that's pretty. So here it is. There's the necklace. And then this is how it will lay on you. So now what I'm going to do is get these guys on here. I just have a smaller jump ring for my lobster clasp. And always check your lobster clasps before you put them on. I know we're not directly attaching them to a wire or anything as far as like a beading wire, but you do want to check it, especially if you're giving this away as a gift or if you're selling it. This one here, I think this one's staying in here with me because this one's absolutely beautiful. I love all the colors. And here we have it. Beautiful, beautiful. I will get some pictures of this and hopefully get the video posted before next month. All right, and here we go. Is that pretty? Let me see if you can see it. There we go. There we go. Now you can see it. So we have a beautiful little pendant in the front with the double jump rings, with the larger jump ring in the middle, and then you have all those wire wrapped on there. And this ends up being maybe 18. Let me take a look. No. Ends up being about 17 inches, which is perfect. All right, so we are all done. And look, we still have lots of the bicones left, and I have an idea of what we're going to use these for. So we have plenty of those left over. And then we have just very minimal scraps. I did mess up on that one, but still that's not very many scraps for how much wire wrapping we did. I have plenty of chain for another necklace and a bracelet, because there is a bracelet that I want to make using this chain. And here we have. There we go. So please give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Also, please comment. I love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.